Welcome to Kshetraadanam channel and to the 8th episode of our series, Hinduism for the Modern Mind. Out of the millions of species of life on this planet, you and I have beaten almost impossible cosmic odds. We are fortunate to be born as human beings. Human birth is an extraordinary and rare privilege, the only portal gifted with the consciousness to look within and seek the ultimate truth. Yet, let us look at the brutal mathematics of our timeline. If you live to be 80, nearly 27 years are spent asleep. Another portion disappears into childhood, old age, daily chores, traffic, and digital distractions. When all this is subtracted, the window of truly conscious, active existence becomes incredibly small. We live on a razor's edge, with no guarantee that the breath we inhale will come back out. Life is fragile. That is why it is urgent to use whatever time we have left wisely. Let us confront the blunt truth: the pleasures of life are short-lived. Sensory enjoyments, properties, bank balances, and public recognition all carry an expiration date. When the final heartbeat comes, wealth and possessions will remain here, claimed by others. The only assets that truly endure are our good deeds, bad deeds, and inner spiritual accumulations. Our learned ancestors advised twin goals of life: to lead a happy, contented, peaceful, dharmic life, and to orient ourselves toward God realization. But if we simply tell the younger generation to follow these goals, it may not help. Why? Because our present system of education has not prepared them for this. Modern institutions teach us how to code, calculate, compete, and earn a livelihood. But they rarely teach us how to live, how to manage the mind, how to build character, or how to walk the path of righteousness. When education is silent on values, Dharma begins to sound abstract or outdated. But the ancient masters saw Dharma as a practical, daily science of living. Hinduism, with its Itihasas, Puranas, Dharma Shastras, Vedas, Upanishads, and many other scriptures, gives deep guidance on life. In today's competitive world, time is precious. Still, one must find time to understand the important aspects of life, either by reading scriptures or by seeking guidance from well-meaning elders. In Hindu philosophy, no individual lives in isolation. We are born indebted to the universe. To maintain harmony, we must fulfill three primary duties: Devarina, the debt to the gods and nature; Rishirina, the debt to sages and teachers; and Pitririna, the debt to parents and ancestors. These obligations form the ethical framework of Dharma, where repaying our debts becomes an expression of gratitude for existence. Kshetraadanam channel will shortly bring out videos on these aspects. To understand how to cultivate these ideals, let us turn to the toolkits left behind by 7 of the greatest spiritual scientists in human history. Adi Shankaracharya. Over 1,000 years ago, the brilliant philosopher Adi Shankaracharya revealed the fragility of human life. In his immortal text Bhaja Govindam, he compared life to a drop of water trembling on a lotus leaf. Nalini dalagata, jalmati tarlam. Tadva jvit matishya kapilam. One breeze, one movement of the stem, and the drop slips away. In the same way, human life is fragile, uncertain, and fleeting. Shankara observed that despite this truth, we spend our lives sleepwalking. The child is lost in toys, the youth in attachment and ambition, and the elderly in anxiety, regret, and physical decline. Rarely do we pause and ask, who am I, and what is truly permanent? Shankara's answer is Viveka, the disciplined ability to distinguish between the temporary and the eternal. He urges us to break the spell of the material dream while the body and mind are still functioning. The ultimate destination is the direct realization of Aham Brahmasmi, the truth that the inner self is not separate from the infinite divine. Before the drop slips from the lotus leaf, it must realize that it was never merely an isolated drop. It is, and always has been, the vast ocean itself. Sant Kabir Das. Centuries later, Sant Kabir Das brought this same urgency into the present moment. Kabir warned us against the dangerous illusion of tomorrow. Kal kare, so aj karaj kare so ab. Palme pralya hoeg bahurikre gokab. What you intend to do tomorrow, do today. What you intend to do today, do now. In a single moment, calamity can come. When will you do it then? Legend says that Kabir was once sitting in a marketplace when a funeral procession passed by. The relatives were crying bitterly, saying everything was ruined. Kabir began to laugh. When people accused him of being heartless, Kabir said, "I am not laughing at the dead man. His play is finished, his accounts are closed. I am laughing at the living people walking behind him. You cry as if you are going to live forever. You are standing in the same queue, only a few steps behind him." To Kabir, God is not trapped inside stone temples or distant scriptures. The divine is the breath within your breath. Realization is the sudden awakening to this inner presence. It is the dropping of pride and ego, allowing the individual drop of consciousness to merge into the flow of divine love. Thiruvalluvar and Avvaiyar. But what if the purpose of life is not only about escaping the world or preparing the soul for the next life? What if true achievement lies in mastering life right where we stand, in the middle of family, work, and responsibility? For this, we turn to the ancient soil of Tamil Nadu, to two practical and sharp-witted sages, Thiruvalluvar and Avvaiyar. Thiruvalluvar looked at the reality that we are always just one breath away from death, and captured it in the Thirukkural. Uranguvdu polam sakkadu. Urangi vijipadu polam pirappu. He says death is like falling asleep, and birth is like waking up. The physical body is like a fragile bird's egg. One day, the soul breaks the shell and flies away, leaving the body behind. Because life is so short, Thiruvalluvar gives us the ultimate manual for the householder. We do not need to abandon family or flee to caves. The highest purpose of life is aram, righteous living. Our duty is to earn honestly, love deeply, protect our character, and use our resources to support the vulnerable. To Thiruvalluvar, a life lived with integrity as an ordinary householder is one of the highest spiritual achievements. He also reminds us that true learning must lead to humility. Kshetraadanam ayapayanenkol. Valarivannattaral thojainin. What is the use of grand learning if it does not lead us to bow before the divine? True education must become humility and righteous action. Alongside this stands Avvaiyar, the ancient poetess of direct, practical wisdom. She looked at human pride, youth, and future plans, and gave one uncompromising metaphor: life is a bubble on running water. Since our time is consumed by childhood, sleep, and old age, the only asset that truly matters is a giving heart. Her dharmic blueprint is simple: Aram seya virumbu, cultivate a daily desire to do good. In Nalvaji, she says human beings are divided into only two kinds: the noble who give joyfully, and the low-minded who refuse to share. Legend says Avvaiyar once bypassed the mansion of a proud wealthy landlord and walked instead to the leaking hut of a poor farmer. The farmer had nothing but a single pomegranate tree. With pure love, he plucked his only fruit and offered it to her. Avvaiyar declared that while the rich man's mansion would one day crumble into dust, the farmer's simple act of love would remain an eternal monument following his soul across lifetimes. Avvaiyar's formula is clear: do good daily, never withhold charity when you can give, and build inner peace through devotion. For those who hold the divine name in their thoughts, even the bursting of the physical bubble cannot shake their peace. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. If life is a fragile queue moving toward an exit, how should we spend the conscious hours we have left? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa offered a simple, heart-centered answer. He agreed that the world is a passing show, like a water bubble floating on a river. He warned that the greatest tragedy of human life is spiritual slumber, spending our limited years hypnotized by the world and treating temporary things as permanent. But his solution was not dry philosophy. It was direct realization. Ramakrishna observed that people often spend life arguing, debating, and collecting information while ignoring the inner spirit. To expose this habit, he gave a timeless parable. Imagine entering a magnificent mango orchard. A worldly intellectual sits down with a notebook. He counts the trees, estimates the number of leaves, calculates the value of the timber, and studies the soil. The wise person does something different. He goes straight to the orchard owner, makes friends with him, sits under a tree, and eats the sweet mangoes. Ramakrishna's message is powerful: do not waste your limited life counting leaves. Do not get trapped in endless anxieties, intellectual pride, or dry debate. Eat the mangoes. The purpose of human life is to directly experience the divine bliss already present within the heart. For Ramakrishna, God realization is not theory. It is an experience where you feel, see, and taste the divine within, waking up fully from the material dream. Swami Vivekananda. But what happens when we face the harsh realities of the world: adversity, tragedy, disease, and fear? This is where Ramakrishna's chief disciple, Swami Vivekananda, transformed his masters in a fire into fearless action. Vivekananda saw that since the body will fall away sooner or later, living only for comfort and security is a waste of breath. To him, the purpose of life is to manifest inner strength and live for others. He famously declared, "This life is short, the vanities of the world are transient, but they alone live who live for others, the rest are more dead than alive." A famous incident from his youth captures this spirit. While walking near a temple in Varanasi, young Vivekananda was suddenly chased by a troop of aggressive monkeys. Terrified, he began to run. But the faster he ran, the more fiercely they chased him. Then an old monk shouted, "Face the brutes." Vivekananda stopped, turned around, stood his ground, and looked directly at the monkeys. Seeing his fearlessness, they fell back and fled. Years later, Vivekananda used this as a lesson for all life: face the terrible, face it boldly. Like those monkeys, hardships, anxieties, trials, and even the fear of disease and death fall back when we stop fleeing. According to Vivekananda, realization is the manifestation of the divinity already within you. You are not merely a fragile body of flesh and bone. You are the infinite, immortal spirit, the Atman, untouched by birth, decay, disease, or death. Sri Ramanujacharya. But what if we feel too weak to face the brutes alone? What if youth has passed, health is failing, and we feel trapped by mistakes and regrets? For this, we turn to the great 11th century sage, Sri Ramanujacharya. Ramanuj looked at the vulnerabilities of human life and responded not with impossible demands, but with grace and refuge. He understood that if liberation required complex philosophy or decades of flawless rituals, most of humanity would fail. Life is short, time is scarce, and health is fragile. Therefore, Ramanuj championed Prapatti, absolute surrender to the divine. He taught that we do not need to be perfect, we need to be anchored. This compassion is seen in the defining moment of his life. After long effort, Ramanuj received from his Guru a sacred, secret mantra capable of granting liberation. But the Guru warned him, if you repeat this mantra in secret, you will be saved. If you reveal it to others, you will commit a grave sin and surely go to hell. Ramanuj walked out, looked at the ordinary people in the streets, working, aging, suffering, and struggling without spiritual refuge, and did not hesitate. He climbed to the top of the temple tower and shouted the mantra aloud, so that everyone, regardless of caste, gender, or status, could receive refuge. When his angry Guru asked why he had condemned himself, Ramanuj bowed and said, "O Master, if by my going to hell, thousands can be liberated from the miseries of this fragile world, I will gladly dwell in hell for eternity." Conclusion: the final accounting. Let us bring this map of wisdom back to our present reality. If we spend this rare human life only on official work, bank balances, properties, and public validation, we are making a serious error. We are investing our precious birth in things that will be taken from us the moment the pulse stops. These 7 giants do not contradict one another. Together, they give us a complete blueprint for the human soul. They diagnose the same problem: life is fragile and passing. But each gives a different doorway to meaning. Adi Shankaracharya gives us Viveka, the clarity to see what is eternal beneath the temporary drama. Sant Kabir shakes us awake, reminding us that a fragile breath cannot wait for a tomorrow that may never come. Thiruvalluvar anchors us in Aram, teaching that household righteousness, love, and integrity can themselves become a high spiritual path. Avvaiyar simplifies life into daily goodness, charity, and devotion. Sri Ramakrishna tells us to stop counting the leaves and taste the mango of inner peace. Swami Vivekananda commands us to face the brutes, awaken our inner strength, and live for others. And Sri Ramanujacharya opens the gates of Prapatti, offering refuge in divine grace when our own strength fails. Thank you for traveling through this deep philosophical landscape with us today. If these timeless insights brought clarity, strength, or spiritual empowerment into your life, please hit the like button, share this video with someone who is struggling to understand their path, and subscribe to Kshetraadanam channel for more deep dives into the eternal roots of wisdom. Namaste.